questions that were answered. For instance, let's talk about that cute little switch knife. You know, the one that fine, upright kid admitted buying?
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and look at it. I'd like to see it again.
We all know what it looks like. I don't need to see why we have to look at it again. What do you think?
The gentleman has a right to see exhibits and evidence.
Okay with me then.
The knife is a pretty strong piece of evidence, don't you agree?
I do.
Now, let's get the sequence of events right as they relate to the switch knife.
The boy admits going out of his house at 8 o'clock after being slapped by his father.
Or punched.
Or punch. He went to a neighborhood store and bought a switch knife. The storekeeper was arrested the following day when he admitted selling it to the boy.
I think everybody agrees that it's an unusual knife, and it's pretty hard to forget something like that.
The storekeeper identified the knife and said it was the only one of its kind he had in stock. Why did the boy get it?
As a present for a friend of his, he says.
Am I right so far?
Right.
You bet she's right. Now listen to this lady. She knows what she's talking about.
Next, the boy claims that on his way home, the knife must have fallen through a hole in his coat pocket. That he never saw it again. Now there's the story. You know what actually happened. The boy took the knife home and a few hours later stabbed his father with it, and even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints.
Hold, preach on, I don't think you're seated yet.
I'm sorry, that's what I did.
That's fine. Just remember that you stay over here. Keep going.
So I even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints. Everyone connected with the case identified this knife. Now, are you trying to tell me that someone picked it up off the street, went up to the boy's house, and stabbed his father with it just to be amusing?
No, I'm saying that it's possible that the boy lost the knife and that someone else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It's possible.
Take a look at that knife. It's a very strange knife. I've never seen one like it before in my life. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to me. Aren't you trying to make us accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not trying to make anyone accept it. I'm just saying it's possible.
And I'm saying it's not possible. What are you trying to do here?
Yeah, what is this? Who do you think you are?
Look at it. It's the same knife.
Quiet, let's be quiet. Where did you get it?
I got it at a little junk shop around the corner from the boy's house. It cost $2.
Now listen to me.
I'm listening.
You pulled a real smart trick here, but you proved absolutely zero. Maybe there are 10 knives like that, so what?
Maybe there are.
The boy lied, and you know it.
And maybe he didn't lie. Maybe he did lose the knife. And maybe he did go to the movies. Maybe the reason the cashier didn't see him was because he sneaked into the movies. And maybe he was ashamed to say so. Is there anyone here who didn't sneak into the movies once or twice when they were young?
I didn't.
Really? Not even once?
You didn't have movies.
Oh.
Maybe he did go to the movies, and maybe he didn't. And he may have lied. Do you think he lied?
Well, that's a stupid question. Sure he lied.
Do you?
You don't have to ask me that. You know my answer. He lied.
Do you think he lied?
I don't know.
Oh, wait a second. What are you, the guy's lawyer? Listen, there's still 11 of us who think he's guilty. You're alone. What do you think you're going to accomplish? If you want to be stubborn and hang this jury, he'll be tried again and found guilty as sure as he's born.
You're probably right.
So what are you going to do about it? We can be here all night.
It's only one night. A man may die.
Oh, come on.
Well, yes, that's true.
I think we ought to get on with it.
Right. Let's just get going.
How do you like this guy?
Well, what do you say? You're the one holding up the show.
Obviously, you don't think the boy is guilty.
I have a doubt in my mind.
But you haven't really presented anything to us that makes it possible for us to understand your doubt. Like the old man downstairs, he heard it. He heard the kid shriek it out.
The woman across the L tracks, she saw it.
We know he bought a switch knife that night, and we don't know where he really was. At the movies? Earlier that night, the kid and his father did have a fight.
He's been a violent kid all the way, and while that doesn't prove anything,
Still, you know.
I've got a proposition to make. I want to call call for a vote. I want you 11 men to vote by a secret ballot. I'll abstain. If there are still 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand alone. We'll take in a guilty verdict right now.
Okay, let's do it. That sounds fair. Does everyone agree? I certainly am.
Let's roll it.
Perhaps this is best.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
That's 6.
Please. 6 guilty. 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 Not guilty. Guilty.
How'd you like that? Who was it? I think we have a right to know.
All right. Who did it and what idiot changed his vote?
Now, is that the way to talk about a man's life?
Whose life are we talking about? The life of the dead man or the life of the murderer?
I want to know who.
So do I.
Excuse me, this was a secret ballot.
No one looked while we did it, sweetheart.
A secret ballot. We agreed on that point. If the person wants to remain a secret, then
What do you mean? There are no secrets in here, and I know who it was. What's the matter with you? You come in here with you vote all guilty, and then this slick preacher starts to tear your heart out with stories about a poor little kid who just couldn't help becoming a murderer. So you change your vote. If that isn't the most sickening thing.
Now, I agree with you that the man is guilty, but let's be fair.
Hold it and be fair? That's just what I'm saying. We're trying to put a guilty man into the chair where he belongs, and all of a sudden, we're paying attention to fairy tales.
Just a minute.
Now you listen to me.
Let's try to keep this organized, gentlemen. It isn't organized, but let's try to be civilized.
please, I would like to say something here.
I have always thought that a person was entitled to an unpopular opinion. I mean, that's the reason why I came to this country, to have the right to disagree.
Do you disagree with us?
Usually I would, and in this case I do agree with you. But the point I would like to make is that in my own country, I would be ashamed.
Oh, now! What do we have to listen to? The history of the country? Always wise to bear in mind what happened in other countries when people aren't allowed to disagree. But we are. Stick to the subject.
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. I want to ask you, what made you change your vote?
I want to know too. You haven't told us yet.
Why do you think I did change my vote?
Oh, sorry. Because I do. Now get on with it.
There's nothing for him to tell you. Because he didn't change his vote. It was me.
I was going to hear you, but you were so sure of yourself.
Sorry. So, okay now.
You'd like to know why?
Let me tell you why the kids,
The man wants to talk.
Thank you. His gentleman chose to stand alone against us. It's his right. It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something very strongly. He left the verdict up to us. He gambled, and I gave it to him. I want to hear more. Vote is 10-2.
That's fine. The speech is over. Let's get on. If there was anything in the kid's favor, I'd vote not guilty.
I don't see what it is.
Neither do I. They're clutching at straws.
As guilty as they get. That's the kid, I suppose.
That one juror that's holding out, but he'll come around. He's got to, and fundamentally, he's a very reasonable man.
I guess so.
They haven't come up with one real fact yet to back up a not guilty verdict.
It's hard, you know.
Yes, it is. And what does guilty beyond a reasonable doubt really mean?
What's a reasonable doubt?
Exactly. When a life is at stake, what is a reasonable doubt? You've got to have law and order. You've got to draw the line somewhere. If you don't, everyone would start knifing people.
Not much doubt here.
Two men think so. I wonder why. Really wonder why.
You do?
go and do it again. They get squeezed out on some technicality and they kill again.
Look, buddy, now that we've kind of cooled off, why, I was a little excited a minute ago. Well, you know how it is. I didn't mean to get nasty, nothing personal.
Okay.
Look, supposing you answer me this. The kid didn't kill him. Who did?
As far as I know, we're supposed to decide whether or not the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anyone else's motives here.
I suppose, but who else had a motive?
The kid's father was along in years. Maybe an old grudge.
Remember, it is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This is important.
Everyone's a lawyer. Supposing you explain to us what your reasonable doubt is.
This is not easy. So far, it's only a feeling I have. A feeling. Perhaps you don't understand.
No, I don't.
A feeling? What are you gonna do? Spend the night talking about your feelings?
You said a mouthful. Look, the old man heard the kid yell, "I'm gonna kill you." A second later, he heard the father's body falling. He saw the boy running out of the house 15 seconds after that.
Where's the reasonable doubt in that?
That's right, and let's not forget the woman across the street. She looked into the open window and saw the boy stab his father. She saw it.
Now, if that's not enough for
It's
you...
not enough for me.
What is enough for you? I'd like to know.
How do you like it? It's like talking to a dead phone.
The woman saw the killing through the windows of a moving elevated train. The train had 5 cars and she saw it through the windows of the last 2 cars. She
Well-
remembers the most insignificant detail.
Well, what have you got to say about that?
I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me.
Well, supposing you think about it. Lend me your pencil. We might as well pass the time.
This isn't a game.
This isn't... Now, wait a minute!
This is a man's life.
All right. Who do you think you are?
Alright, let's take it easy.
I've got a good mind to walk around this table and belt him one.
Now, please, I don't want any fights in here.
Did you see him? The nerve. The absolute nerve.
Alright, forget it. I don't mean anything.
How about sitting down?
This isn't a game. Who does he think he is?
Calm down.
Weren't we talking about elevated trains?
Yes, we were.
So,
All right. How long does it take an elevated train going at top speed to pass a given point?
what has that got to do with anything?
How long would it take? Yes.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Neither would I.
Don't think they mentioned it.
What do you think?
I'd say about 10 or 12 seconds, maybe.
I'd say that's a fair guess. Anyone else?
10 seconds, perhaps.
About 10 seconds, yeah.
All right, we're agreed. 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
This. An L train passes a given point in 10 seconds. That given point is the window of the room in which the killing took place. You can almost reach out of that window of the room and touch the L, right?
That's right. I tried it.
So,
All right. Now let me ask you this. Did anyone here ever live next to the L tracks?
I've lived close to them.
They make a lot of noise, don't they? I've lived by the L tracks. When your window is open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can't hear yourself think.
Okay, you can't hear yourself think. Get to the point.
The old man who lived downstairs heard the boy say,
He didn't say it. He screamed it.
the old man heard the boy scream, "I'm going to kill you." And 1 second later, he heard the body fall. 1 second. That's his testimony, right?
Right.
The old woman across the street looked through the window of the last 2 cars on the L and saw the body fall, right?
right.
So, the last 2 cars. The last 2 cars.
What are you giving us here?
An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point, or 2 seconds per car. That L had to be going by the old man's window for at least 6 seconds and maybe more before the body fell, according to the woman. The old man would have had to hear the boy say, "I'm going to kill you," while the front of the L was roaring past his nose. It's not possible that he could have heard it.
What do you mean? Sure it is.
With an L train going by?
He said the boy yelled it out.
An L train makes a lot of noise.
Well, it's enough for me.
It's enough for me, too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. I mean, with the L train going by.
What? are you people talking about? Are you calling that old man a liar?
Something doesn't fit.
Well, it stands to reason.
You're crazy. Why would he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
You keep coming up with these bright sayings. Why don't you send one to the newspaper?
What does that have to do with a man's life? Why am I the old man of life? You have a right to be heard.
Thank you. It's just, I looked at his jacket. I looked at him for a very long time. The seam of his jacket was split under his arm. Did you notice that? He was a very old man with a torn jacket. He carried 2 canes. And they think I know him better than anyone else in this room. This is a quiet, frightened, insignificant man who's been nothing his whole life, who's never had recognition, his name in the papers. Nobody knows him after 75 years. This is a very sad thing. A man like this needs to be recognized, to be questioned and listened to just once. This is very important.
And you're trying to tell us he lied about a thing like this just so he could be important?
No, he wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he made himself think he heard the words and really recognized the boy's voice.
Well, that's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that?
I'm not making it up.
What do you know about it? You must be making it up. People don't lie about things like that.
He made himself believe he told the truth.
What do you know about it?
I speak from experience.
What?
I am the same man.
I think we understand now. Thank you.
If he wants to admit that he's a liar, it's all right by me.
Now that is too much.
Now, he's a liar. He just told us.
He did not say that he was a liar. He was explaining.
Didn't you admit that you're a liar?
Please. He was just explaining the circumstances so we could understand why the old man might have lied. There's
liar-
a difference.
A liar is a liar, and that's all that's to.
Please, have some compassion.
Gentlemen, please. We have a job and our duty. I think they've covered it.
I hope we have.
All right. Is there anything else?
Cough drop?
No, thank you.
Anybody? Any cough drop?
Come on, let's get on with it.
I'll take one. Thank you. Now there's something else I'd like to point out here. I think we've proved that the old man couldn't have heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you."
Well, I disagree.
Let's hear him through anyway.
But supposing the old man really did hear the boy say, "I'm going to kill you." This phrase, how many times has each of you used it? Probably hundreds. If you do that once more, Junior, I'm gonna murder you. Come on, Rocky, kill him. We say it every day. This doesn't mean that we're really gonna kill someone.
Don't the circumstances alter that somewhat?
The old man was murdered.
One thing more, the phrase was, "I'm going to kill you," and the kid screamed it out at the top of his lungs.
That's the way I understand
Now,
it.
don't try and tell me he didn't mean it. Anybody says a thing like that, and the way he said it, they mean it.
And how they mean it.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you really think the boy would shout out a thing like that so the whole neighborhood would hear it? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Right? He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English. The boy is clever enough.
I'd like to change my vote to guilty. Or not guilty.
You sure?
Yes.
The vote is 9 and 3 in